Hi, this is your foreclosure geek, Sean O'Toole with ForeclosureRadar.com. In this video, we're going to show you the real foreclosure auctions, the trustee sales. The first thing you need to do is to find the sale. Now, this may sound easy, but a lot of these addresses are for courthouses, and a courthouse may be an entire city block. So it's a good idea to go down a day or two ahead of time, look around, and try to find out where the auction is happening. Now, there's no signs. There's no obvious, thing here. What you have to do is you just look around for a group of people standing around, often with clipboards in their hands, and look for that gathering where the sale's happening. Now, at some point, and with little warning, the auction will start.
14 Grove Avenue, Imperial Beach. TS number for NDX West 200901340004506.
Now, there's only three possible outcomes to a foreclosure auction. One, the property can be postponed to a future date. Two, it can be canceled and the person's no longer in foreclosure, maybe refiled again later, but for now they're free and clear. Or the property can be sold, either to a third party, usually investor, or if no one bids, it'll go back to the bank. Now let's watch a few properties get postponed to see how it happens.
Agreement 4509 Highland Oak Street in Fallbrook. Postponed 113, mutual agreement 146.
Note that they typically just provide the address, the new sale date, and the reason for postponement. Now, before Foreclosure Radar was around, you actually had to track all of this yourself, and let me tell you, it was tough, took a lot of time. Now, postponements are one of the most frustrating parts of buying at the foreclosure auctions. You go to all this trouble to do the research, you go get your cashier's checks, you get down there to the sale, only to find out that it's been postponed to another date. Next, cancellations.
And last cancellation is going to be 1542 Avocet Court in Chula Vista. 1542 Avocet in Chula Vista, that's canceled.
Now note a couple of things here. First, these auctioneers are taking turns. There's two auctioneers down here and only one stocking at a time. In many counties, you'll have multiple auctions with different auctioneers scheduled throughout the day, and it's very possible for these sales to overlap or even be scheduled at the same time. So one thing just to be really certain of is that you're listening to the right guy. Nothing worse than to be paying attention to one person while the property you're interested in is sold 10 feet away by somebody else. Note that the cancellations, postponements, etc. don't come in any particular order. A lot of times the auctioneers will try to group them together, but it may not happen, and so you just have to be prepared that your property could come to sale, be postponed, be canceled at any time. With that in mind, let's get to the good stuff and listen to them announce a property for sale.
The designation of the property is purported to be 1830 Greenfield Drive in El Cajon. Opening bid is $410,000.
The specified or opening bid is the lender's bid on the property and serves as the starting bid. Now, these are often quite a bit less than the published bid in the notice of trustee sale, as lenders are now accustomed to dropping these bids in an attempt to get a third party interested in buying them, as most would otherwise be underwater and wouldn't attract any investor interest at all. If no one bids more than the starting bid, then the property will be sold back to the beneficiary for that opening bid amount.
7962 Harley Court. Harley Court, number 11 in Santee. Opening bid is 187323.28, TS number 09011413. No warranty is given as to the completeness or correctness of this address.
Now, this is super important. Note that he said that the address was purported to be, and that there was no guarantee that the address is correct. So if you don't get anything else out of this video, remember that you are bidding on the lender's interest in the property as described in the deed of trust. The deed of trust is the mortgage document that gets recorded down at the county recorder's office. You are buying whatever property is described in the legal description in that deed of trust. Doesn't matter what the listed address is or the assessor's parcel number that's on the deed of trust. It's what's in the legal description. So it's a good idea to check that, especially on more unusual properties where the possibility for mistake is high.
The sale is going to be made under a deed of trust executed by Maria T. Pilar and Aguirre M. Pilar. This was recorded 12/14/05 as instrument number 2005-107-0212 in the official records of San Diego County.
Note that he just provided the document number and the recording date of the deed of trust. I strongly encourage you to verify this is the loan that you want to bid in, that it has the legal description as we just talked about. Let's listen a little bit more and find out why it's so important.
All my sales today will be made in as-is condition without covenant or warranty, express or implied, regarding title, possession, condition, or encumbrances.
Now let me emphasize what he just said. The sale is made in as-is condition without any warranty. Now, it should be obvious that you can't call the lender after the sale if your heater goes out. They're not going to come and fix it, right? They also won't be handing you the keys to the property. You're going to have to call a locksmith. And if there's somebody still in the property living there, you're going to have to evict them. Now, a little less obvious is that you are buying the property subject to existing liens and encumbrances. So what does that mean? For example, if the loan going to trustee sale is a second mortgage, you will still owe the full amount of the first mortgage. And you also always owe past due property taxes. Now, there's some other things in here too, more than I can get into in this video, but make sure you understand what you're doing. Make sure you do the necessary research and you know what you're buying before you come down here to the trustee sales. It just couldn't be more important. And this, again, is why that deed of trust document number and recording date is so important, because you need to know which loan you're buying. You should never come down to the trustee sale and just buy based on the address they announced. You really need to pay attention to that loan document number. Now that you've verified you're bidding on the right property, it's time to qualify.
Specified bid, $253,842 even. Any qualifying bidders? No one else is.
To bid, you'll need a cashier's check for the full amount of your maximum bid and a photo ID. Note that to qualify, you simply walk up and show them the money.
All right, Steven, qualified. Anybody else?
Once everyone is qualified, the bidding starts.
All right, I have Steven, Eric, and Brandon, guys. Specified bid, $253,842 even. Any higher bids? All right, $253.42 and a penny.
Now, usually when you place the first bid, you'll place it for 1 penny over. No reason to waste 99 cents if you're the winning bidder. After the first penny over bid, it's customary to round the next bid to an even number just to make it easier for everyone as they bid. And then from there, typically bid in $100 increments, or if there's still quite a ways to go before you get to the maximum bid, maybe $1,000 increments so that you're not there all day. Now, after each bid, the auctioneer will give the other bidders a chance to bid, and will typically say something like going once, going twice, third and final.
$287,000 even. Brandon. Going once, twice, third and final call. All right, no further bids. Index West LLC. Brandon's highest bidder, $287,000. $287,000.
But note the sale isn't actually final until the auctioneer has received the funds in his hands. Until that happens, you can still step up with a higher bid, even though it seems like the auction's over.
All right, checks endorsed. Sold to Brandon, $287,000. I have 1030. Sale is final.
If you're the winning bidder, you'll sit down with the auctioneer, provide them your name and contact information, and the vesting that you want to take title in. And then they're going to hand you a receipt, and it's a handwritten receipt, and it's a little unnerving to hand somebody hundreds of thousands of dollars and to get back a little sheet of handwritten paper, but it's fine. Now, don't worry if your checks aren't exact. If you'll have to give them more money than maybe you bid, no problem. The trustee will send you a refund, usually within just a few days and typically no more than a couple of weeks. While the sales that go to third parties can be quite entertaining, most of the properties are going to go back to the bank and with very little fanfare. Let's listen to one.
Do I have any qualifying bidders? Second time, anybody? Third and final time. We're going to send this back to the beneficiary.
With that, you've seen most of what happens down at the foreclosure auctions. Be sure to check out our learning center at foreclosureradar.com for more information on buying at the auction. We've got lots of resources and forums there. This is your foreclosure geek, Sean O'Toole from foreclosureradar.com. Thanks a lot for watching.